Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. This time, I'm going to complete the HasLab Sentinel review. I did the review, the HasLab Sentinel, as you can see here in the background, or, I mean, you can see its feet. That review was a beast. It took a lot of time. It was frustrating at times. I appreciate all the kind words and all the support from the comment saying that I did a good job. I really appreciate that. I wanted to give you guys a really good look at the Sentinel. And for a lot of you guys, it sounds like I was able to pull that off. It was tricky, and I had to walk away a couple of times, but I got it. So in that video, because it was so long and so much going on, I did not review the Sentinel Prime and the Bastion figure because I just thought it would just take even longer to do that. So here in this video, I will show you guys the two figures. They're pretty cool, but they're also pretty basic at the same time. It's cool that we got them. It's cool that they were unlock bonus. Actually, Bastion came with it straight from the get, right? It wasn't even unlockable. The female Sentinel Prime figure was. We do have the additional interchangeable head for the Sentinel Prime. I wish we would have just gotten another damn body for that Sentinel Prime head, because out of the package, this is what you're left with. How cool would it have been to have a second body so you can actually use that head? So that's kind of the tricky thing, the unfortunate thing. So if you army built this HasLab Sentinel, you're going to have multiples of this to be able to do that. So in that sense, you're lucky, you're taken care of. But, you know, for anybody that ordered one, which I only ordered one, I have a second that's going to be coming. But this is kind of how this is the problem. You're left with the extra head when, you know, it could add on to and give you another Sentinel. Eventually, I will have a second figure so I could do that. And I think these figures on the secondary market are going to be highly sought after, because these things are not going to be released in a regular wave somewhere down the line. Maybe some point in the future they could, or maybe as a future army builder figure through Hasbro Pulse, they'll do something like this, but with the Sentinel Prime head, probably not the Bastion head. That's an option there too. I would love to see a regular 6-inch Sentinel. Wouldn't that be cool? Here I brought out the classic Marvel Legends. This is the vintage wave Iron Man. I think it was the Ironmonger wave. Which surprisingly I don't have that original figure, but the arm gauntlets and the legs are different. They're much bulkier size, so it almost looks like a miniature Sentinel figure. And I think I've seen some customs where they painted this figure, so the gold was painted with like the magenta color, and then the red would painted with like the dark purple color. And it looks fantastic. One thing that I want to do and really get out of the way is I want to see if I can pop this head off and see if we can get that Sentinel Prime head actually onto this figure to do. So we're going to pop that off, and we're going to see if this goes on there. Kind of. No neck. It just sits on there. So I guess it could technically be semi-functional if that's what you wanted to do. But, I mean, you would kind of have to play with it a little bit. But, you know, that could be something a lot of custom, you know, the customizers, you know, has the customizability factor in there. It would be pretty cool. So that's enough of that. Let's zoom in to take a closer look at these figures. And oh yeah, they just came in bags like this. There was no packaging. And again, I would have loved if these figures actually got its own Marvel Legends package inside the box. No idea how it would have fit, but damn, that would have been cool, right? Anyway, let's take a closer look. Okay, so first up we have the female Prime Sentinel. I was saying Sentinel Primes, I just looked it up. It's Prime Sentinels. It's basically from a program that Bastion had created where humans were turned into the Prime Sentinels once Operation Zero Tolerance had begun. So pretty interesting stuff. To know that it was a human that was then kind of turned into these cybernetic type weapons. So this female body is the same body that we've seen kind of over and over again. However, the legs are thicker. We didn't get the really thin legs this time around. I'm trying to think if this is the Moonstone body, which I think it is. The upper torso is going to be new, because you see that we have this purple, metallic purple or magenta metallic pink type color that is sculpted on the torso, and then of course the head sculpt. The head sculpt looks fantastic. The red for the eyes, the black eyeliner, the lipstick, and then the kind of the facial crown mask headwear looks really good. The hair also looks good. It's kind of like a whitish color hair with some blondish shading throughout the hair to give it the texture, and I think that came out looking really good. But the face looks fantastic. But the best thing about this figure is actually kind of covered up by the head sculpt. So we're gonna pop that head off. And we're going to take a look at kind of the cybernetic things that are kind of going on here. There's not really any paint apps to it. It looks like there might be a wash in there, but the cybernetic look to it is really done well. But when the head's on there, it kind of gets lost and you don't really see it a whole lot. Now the Bastion figure has even more detail, but we see a nice fair amount in there, and that looks pretty good. Here you see the little design. We got 6 dots, 3 on the side, 3 on that side. But the rest of the figure, again, is just done in this blackish, dark gray color. And nothing else really going on with it. Pop that head back on there. But I think it looks really, really good. Now moving on to the Bastion figure. Obviously this should be kind of the highlight, and looks, you know, really, really nice. Look at that. You see the cybernetic parts right there on inside of the cheek. That looks really good. We get this grayish color with a little bit of shading throughout the hair and this goatee. That looks really good. Red for the eyes. The mouth is kind of that titanium color, that gunmetal look. Looks awesome. The hair flowing like that. And again, Bastion's head, I'll pop that off. So looking at it, it's much more detailed in there to give it that cybernetic look. And we actually get some gold right there at the end of like these cables, it looks like. Just came out looking fantastic. We've seen this body before. This is the Spider UK body, which is not a bad body mold at all. The more that I see it, the more that I can actually appreciate it and like it. The torso, however, is new, and of course it is new because we get this chest piece there that is all sculpted on there, and new red triangle there in the front, but it's that same metallic magenta, pinkish, purple color. Kind of goes around. And then we get some gold right here. And again, those are molded on there and then painted gold. But then the rest of the figure is done in that same dark gray, blackish color with nothing really else going on there. But along with the Bastion head sculpt, we get another Prime Sentinel head. We'll pop that on there. And that looks pretty damn good. Really like the way that looks. And again, I wish that we would have gotten a separate body just to do this. You know, at the time, it's crazy. The Sentinel broke records, you know, 26 hours, and it was fully funded and just kept beating the goal. The tiers were unlocked. They had to make the special tier 4. They threw in an extra tentacle. Why not have thrown in an extra body? That would have been really cool. I think a missed opportunity that's going to suck for those that only order one Sentinel figure, that they can't do each head. They can't display each Prime Sentinel figure with each head, and I think that sucks. So yeah, that really sucks. But let's zoom out. Let's take a look at their articulation. Nothing really new that's going to be going on here, so we'll go over it quickly. Okay, the female Prime Sentinel, she can look all the way down, which is good. She can look up somewhat, but the hair does hinder and get in the way, of course. Full rotation there. Not really a whole lot of pivot, but some. Shoulder can go out quite high. You can get it to go that high up. You get a full rotation, of course. Single jointed elbow with the bend there. So we get that deep cut elbow. So it gives her more than 90 degrees. So that's cool. At least we get that. But damn, you know, it's too bad this figure wasn't manufactured just a little bit later. Then we could have gotten some pinless double elbows. But unfortunately, we got that. Wrists swivel and they do hinge. The diaphragm joint, so she can pivot to her left that much, not a whole lot. Pivot to her right that much, not a whole lot. Pivot back or bend back, not a whole lot. Bend forward, not a whole lot. And then a twist swivel at the diaphragm joint, no waist swivel. Legs go out that far apart. She can kick forward, very high. Leg doesn't really go back. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knee like so. No calf swivel, boot swivel, foot hinges down. Hinges up a bit, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. For the Bastion Sentinel Prime figure, with the Prime Sentinel head on there, he can look all the way up. And the hinge is kind of stiff, he can look all the way down. I'm going to pop that off, and we're going to throw that Bastion head on there. Can't really look down because that goatee is going to hit his chest, unfortunately. Looking up is not a problem for him, though. Full rotation, of course, not really a whole lot of pivot going on there. Shoulder, you can get it to go basically just straight out. Full rotation, of course. Upper bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow, like so. Wrists swivel and they hinge. Fists on Bastion, open holding hands on the female, no additional interchangeable hands. That was another missed opportunity by Hasbro. Ab crunch forward is only that much, not a whole lot going on there. Back fair amount though. Waist swivel. Legs only go out that far apart, not a whole lot. He can't kick forward quite high though. Doesn't really go back. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knee. It's kind of a crappy bend at the knee actually. There, calf swivel. Foot hinges all the way down. Hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So there's the articulation. Again, nothing new. We've basically seen these bodies multiple times before. So there is their articulation. Okay, and for some size comparisons, I only grabbed a couple of X-Men figures. We have Charles Xavier, we have Wolverine, we have the Bastion figure, and the female Prime Sentinel figure. So you can kind of get a gauge for how tall each of those figures are. Okay, and here is a size comparison with all of the different Sentinel figures, minus the Marvel Universe one. I just didn't want to bring out every single Sentinel again. But we have the Omega Sentinel, the female Sentinel Prime, the Theta Sentinel, or the Tri-Sentinel Build-A-Figure that we got earlier this year, or late last year. But it was the House of 10, or, yeah, the Powers of 10, House of X, Powers of 10, X-Men comic run. We have Bastion figure and then Nimrod. So all the different versions of Sentinels all here together, and I think it's pretty awesome that we have all of these different versions. I'm really happy. And then here you could see the size comparison to the HasLab Sentinel, which is kind of crazy. So to kind of give you a sneak peek of it, or just to kind of look, if you haven't already watched my review, that's how damn tall he is. There, he's got the Master Mold head on, but there's no lights even up that high, so you're not really going to see it. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, there we go. All of the Sentinels side by side. Okay, just for another visual of size comparison, here are the Sentinel heads minus the Master Mold head. Next to the female Prime Sentinel and the Bastion figure, and it is a crazy size difference. Okay, that is my review of the Bastion and female Prime Sentinel figure, or even I guess the male Prime Sentinel figure when you throw that head on there. Sorry I couldn't get into the video with the HasLab Sentinel, but you know guys, I like to talk quite a bit, and I'm sure this video will end up being lengthy even though I didn't want it to be. But here they are. I think they're fantastic. I think Hasbro should have given us another male body so we could have used this head. Maybe throw in some extra heads with some like hair coming out, because I mean, kind of like the female one, right? They were just humans that ended up turning into those Prime Sentinels. So if we had some other human heads that were similar to this with like hair coming out, that would have been really cool. But we didn't. We got the Bastion figure, which is cool. But you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of this figure, these figures. I think they're great. I honestly don't think they're going to release them in a future wave. I could be wrong. I hope that is not the case. I hope they remain a HasLab exclusive, because I think that makes the figures feel a little bit more special. It sucks for those that didn't have a chance to get it, but who knows what Hasbro is going to do. Maybe they'll do the Hasbro Pulse Army Builder thing. I have no idea. That's pure speculation. I have absolutely no idea. But it also would not surprise me if they did something like that. Maybe they don't do exactly this. Maybe it's just a basic-ass body with just the painted colors on there instead of the molded colors. No Bastion head. I can see them doing something like that, and I think that would be kind of cool. It would be awesome to see a little miniature Sentinel army along with the big-ass HasLab Sentinel there in the background. But yeah, that's it. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Watch the HasLab Sentinel review if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up button if you guys like the video, and as always, thank you for watching.